Hostile territory.
Hi everyone and welcome to another video from Hostile Territory. In this video we'll be talking about how to come to terms with the situation you are in. Now, why is this so important? When you work in a hostile and toxic environment, one of the best things you can do for yourself is to sort of reconcile, if I said it correctly in English, with the situation you are in. What advantages will this bring you? Two main advantages. First, it will immensely help, and please remember this, to save your mental and thus physical health, and it will sort of give you a leveled playing for playing the future game within that company. If you don't come to terms with the situation you are in, then you will be in a constant state of rebellion against it, which is very bad if you have to be there. What will happen is you will be gloomy, you may have bad behavior, which is pretty much normal but is unacceptable in those places. You'll be simply a ticking time bomb, which will eventually make perhaps some bad decisions or do something in the company which will make your situation even worse. When you come to terms, 50% of what I told you, at least 50% will simply be gone. You will be, easygoing, there will be much less tension, and no need to say how this will improve your mental and physical health. When you get the leveled plane, you'll be able to make good decisions, or wise decisions, or decisions you have to get through all of it much easier. All in all, if you do this, you'll get through the whole situation, which may last a couple of years, or like in my case, 12 years. So it's a pretty long time, and pretty much if you do this, it will have a very good long-term effect for you. Now, the first tip on this list that I would like to share with you, which is closely related for how to come to terms with a toxic workplace, is you must love yourself. If you're a person who likes to punish him or herself for the things that are happening, now you'll have a tough time doing it, And the only one to pay the price for it will be you. When you love yourself, believe it or not, you will be able to make better decisions in your favor. You will work in a different way, and you will react a different way to various situations in a toxic workplace. And this is an immense help. So every time you look that person in the mirror and tell them every time that you love them. The next very important tip is to stop self-pity, stop whining, stop any kind of lamentation you might have towards yourself. When working in a toxic workplace, this will be probably the first thing that will start setting into motion. So every time you get in a bad situation, every time you get punished for something at work in one way or the other, which is a common situation in a toxic workplace, you'll probably start blaming yourself. If you love yourself, you won't do this. But if you don't love yourself, then there will be a lot of this. All of them, self-pity especially, whining, moaning about everything, all of this has a destructive effect. It is no help at all. It is like many other vices people have, like cigarettes, alcohol, and everything else that just gives a short-term relief of the problem. In the long term, it goes sort of just like those vices. It becomes a habit, and it doesn't help in any way. All it does is sort of make this pattern of behavior, which just makes you even more hate yourself, perhaps hate the situation you're in, and again, what I've mentioned, you'll be in a constant state of tense. Next, very important tip is to try, and this is very hard, to lighten up about the whole situation. Again, from personal experience, lots of times I was, in a place where, my goodness, why all this? Why this job? Why did this happen to me? Blah, blah, blah. That is justified. I want to be clear on that, but it is useless, What will help you lighten up? The situation you are in and I was in is not the end of the world. There are worse situations. Always know that there is worse, That is not supposed to be any kind of help, but remember that also. And there are lots of people that would pay dearly to be in your place, where, some sort of stupid toxic job is not a problem. People have more serious problems. Always remember that and simply try to lighten up. Try to accept the fact that it's really not important. What it's important is you. your spouse, your family. Those are the things that are important. All of this is something that will pass and that will have probably no effect in the future. Okay, remember that. Next, do not judge yourself. With self pity and whining also comes self judgment, and in a bad way. You will easily get into this sort of spiral of why did I do this? Why didn't I think better when making this kind of decision? And so on and so forth, and this is sort of like when you put bullets in a machine gun, ta, 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 it goes like that and there's no end to it. What this brings upon you is tension, brings sort of this gloomy, bad behavior. All in all, it will just make things worse. If you really want to judge yourself, then try to do it objectively. In most cases, it's not up to you. It's up to various circumstances, the situation you're in. You're not stupid. You're there because probably you have to, and so on. But again, it's very dangerous to judge yourself in a bad way. If you want to judge yourself objectively. The next tip I would recommend is to not take your job seriously. By this, I do not mean for you to be irresponsible at your workplace and do bad or costly things, but don't take things personally at work. This is also immensely important to save yourself at a toxic workplace, because you will have conflicts all the time. People will be saying stuff to you all the time, behave rudely to you probably, and it is very tough to accept this, especially if you sometimes make mistakes at work. If something happens at work, then it becomes even worse. If you don't take things personally, if you see work just as a set of operations you have to do to get that paycheck, then it will be much easier for you. And again, if you take things personally, it will be bad for your mental and physical health. Next tip is try to listen to other people's experiences. This is my recommendation for you. It helped me a lot to listen to people that were in the same situation or had the same experience, and listen to how they coped with that situation. So you have videos like this one you're watching, but hundreds of other good videos where people explain how they went through all of this, how they dealt with it in both a professional, psychological manner, but also from experience like the video you're watching now. Trust me, it will have a good effect on you mentally, and it will give you some kind of relief valve for the situation you are in. When you see that other people have dealt with the same situation, perhaps worse, when you see that they perhaps finished successfully with all of it, you can learn a lot, and you can feel better after watching that, and above all, get more useful information on how to deal with this stuff. For the end, I must mention one last tip, which is also important, and that is to plan your exit strategy. Of course, you will do this regarding many aspects of working in a toxic and hostile workplace. Exit strategies will enable you to perhaps find a new job easier, maybe get a better paycheck, something like that. With coming to terms in the situation you are with, it will offer you one immensely powerful tool, and that is hope. Hope that things will be better, and that eventually you can, with that exit strategy, you can see a light at the end of the tunnel. Trust me, when push comes to shove, when everything is, around you and pressing you on that job, seeing that light at the end of the tunnel, seeing your strategy, best write it on paper, will put a smile on your face and will let you get through those times much easier. I'll give an example of this. When a bad boss comes and reprimands you for something you've done, or is just reacting badly towards you for no apparent reason, there are two ways you can react to this. One way is what we've mentioned at the beginning of the video. If you're tense, if you're in a bad mood constantly, all of this can become a quarrel, which can turn into some sort of verbal fight, and you can get fired, and you can lose the paycheck you need. But if you have an exit strategy, you always know at the back of your head that all of this will pass, okay? So when that happens, instead of you going into some sort of perhaps violent behavior, watch what happens and just say, okay, thanks, make a quick judgment. We've talked about this in previous videos, and just say, okay, I'll do what you ask of me. Is that all? Are we finished? Okay, bye, and that's it. That will give a good message to your boss or to the other person that's causing you problems, and it will give you the opportunity to proceed with your exit strategy properly and without causing yourself problems. So that's it for this time. I sincerely hope these videos help. Again, pardon my English, I'm not a native speaker, obviously, so I hope I'm able to relay this message properly. I would humbly ask for you to like and subscribe. It's a huge help for what we're doing, especially since this is a new channel. And for the end, again, I really hope that these videos will in some way help you get through tough times, and working in a toxic and hostile workplace is very tough. Make no doubt about it. Thanks for watching, and thanks for your time.